Okay, guys, today we are going to discuss about Anglo-Maratha Wars. So we are going to first discuss about first Anglo-Maratha War. Before that, we need to discuss about the background of the first Anglo-Maratha War. In the third battle of Panipat, Marathas were defeated by Ahmad Shah Abdali. Okay, Ahmad Shah Abdali. Okay, during that time, during that time, Ma, Peshwa was Balaji Bajirao was the Peshwa. So after a while, Balaji Bajirao had passed away. Then Madhav Rao became the next Peshwa. But we know that we need to know that Balaji Bajirao had a brother named Raghunath Rao. Raghunath Rao. So Raghunath Rao, and he was also aspiring to become Peshwa. But what happened is that Balaji Bajirao's son Madhava Rao became the Peshwa, and Madhava Rao had imprisoned the Raghunath Rao. So Madhava Rao became Peshwa at a very early age, but he was an able administrator. He had conquered the lost territories of Marathas, and he could unite the chiefs, many Maratha chiefs under him. So Madhav Rao was an able ruler. Okay, but in 1772, 1772, Madhav Rao died due to tuberculosis. Okay, who died due to tuberculosis. Okay. Okay. Now after Madhava Rao, Narayan Rao, he is Madhava Rao's brother, Narayan Rao became Peshwa. Narayan Rao. Okay, Narayan Rao became Peshwa. Okay, this Narayan Rao had released the Raghunath Rao from imprisonment. Now, what happened is that the Raghunath Rao had a conspiracy to kill the Narayan Rao, and it did happen so. So, Raghunath Rao had killed the Narayan Rao, or one of the men of the Raghunath Rao had killed Narayan Rao, and Raghunath Rao had become Peshwa for a very short time. So he was killed. Narayan Rao was killed, and Raghunath Rao became Peshwa for a short duration. Now, why I am saying for a short duration is that many in the kingdom did not like his act of killing Narayana Rao. So what happens is that a very prominent figure named Nana Fatnavis, he was chief minister under the Peshwa. Nana Fatnavis had revolted against Raghunath Rao. Okay, and during that time, Narayana Rao's wife had given birth to a child. Nana Fatnavis had named that child Savai Madhava Rao. Savai Madhava Rao is the son of the late Narayana Rao. Savai Madhava Rao means 1.5 of Madhava Rao. That is, the child had possessed the 1.5 quality of Madhava Rao, because Madhava Rao was an able ruler. And Nana Fatnavis was trying to make this baby as the Peshwa, was the next Peshwa, and overthrow Raghunath Rao. So Nana Patnavis was able to gain support from other Maratha chiefs also, like Mahatji Shinde, etc. So what happens is that Nana Patnavis plus various Nana Patnavis plus various Maratha chiefs made a council named Barbai Council. Okay, Barbai Council. Okay, so Barbai Council was being headed by Nana Patnavis, and this council wanted Savai Madhava Rao as the Peshwa, and they succeeded and they overthrew Raghunath Rao. So what happened is that Raghunath Rao did not accept this. So he sought the help of British. So Raghunath Rao had entered a treaty with British, and that treaty is called Treaty of Surat. Okay, Treaty of Surat. And according to this treaty, what happens is that according to this treaty, Raghunath Rao need to give cede territories like Salsette and Basin to EIC. So Salsette and Basin to EIC. Then sharing revenue of Surat and Bharuch. Sharing revenue of Surat and Bharuch. Okay, this were the main highlight or the main provisions of this treaty. That is, Salsette and Basin will be given to EIC. Sharing revenue of Surat and Bharuch. In return, what happens is that EIC had given 2,500 soldiers to Raghunath Rao. So 2,500 soldiers were given to Raghunath Rao. Okay, to Raghunath Rao. Okay, to Raghunath Rao. And a copy of this Treaty of Surat was sent to British Kolkata Council, British East India Company at Kolkata. Okay, British East India Company at Kolkata. Because what happened is that due to Regulating Act of 1773, East India Company at Kolkata became superordinate over the over the presidencies of Madras as well as Bombay. So the more power was given to Kolkata Bengal presidency. Okay. Now we have discussed about the background of the first Anglo-Maratha War. So let's get started with the beginning of the first Anglo-Maratha War. Okay. Now, in March 1775, what happened is that Haripant Patke is from the Maratha side, and Marathas had comprised of many chiefs. Okay, Marathas, we need to have an idea about it. Marathas comprised of mainly different ruling clans or ruling chiefs. Okay, there were 5 main ruling chiefs. One is Peshwa, and he was the leader of Maratha Empire, and he was based in Pune. Okay, Pune. Okay. Next is Gaekwad. Its headquarters was Baroda. Baroda. Okay, Baroda. Then Bonsale. This Nagpur. Okay, Nagpur. Then Holkers, Indore. Then Sindhia, Golia. Based in Golia. Sindhia, based in Golia. Okay, Golia. So this is the most important, okay, chiefs of Maratha. Okay. Now, okay, let me clear this. Okay. 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 In March 1775, first Anglo Maratha War had begun. Okay, first Anglo Maratha War began in 1775. Okay, precisely March. Okay, March. Okay, the war started between Haripant Phatke versus Raghunath Rao plus Bombay EIC. Okay, Haripant Phatke from Maratha side versus Raghunath Rao EIC. Okay, so this the battle had started. Haripant Phatke versus Raghunath Rao plus EIC. But at this point of time, the letter, that is Treaty of Surat, had reached the Kolkata, and the Governor General of Bengal at that time was Warren Hastings. Warren Hastings had opposed this war, opposed the idea that EIC was going war against Marathas. So he didn't want a war with Marathas. So what happened is that the war was being halted. How did it happen is that the before that, let me say, I forgot one thing, that during this battle in the EIC side, the lead was by the Colonel Keating. Colonel Keating led the EIC army, okay, along with Raghunath Rao. Okay, Colonel Keating. Okay, Colonel Keating. Colonel Keating. Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is that this battle did not prolong. Lord Warren Hastings rejected EIC entering into war with the Marathas. So he wanted a peace treaty with Marathas. So what happened is that Treaty of Purandar was being acknowledged or was initiated. Treaty of Purandar. Treaty of Purandar. Okay, Purandar. This is 1776. Okay, 1776. Okay, between the Barby Council and Barby Council means Marathas, which consists of Nana Fatmayev and many Maratha chiefs, and Colonel Upton. Colonel Upton was the envoy, was sent by Warren Hastings. Okay, Colonel Upton. Okay, Colonel Upton. So Treaty of Purandar had these conclusions. The Treaty of Purandar is that it is having this, that returning territories which are captured by the British to Marathas, okay, and each other also. If Marathas had captured any territories from British, it need to be transferred to British, and if British had captured any territory, it need to be returned to the Marathas. Okay. So returning territories. Then second is acknowledging acknowledging Savai Madhavarao, that is 40 days old infant, as the Peshwa of Maratha. So British had acknowledged Savai Madhavarao as the Peshwa. Okay, acknowledging Madhavarao. Okay, Savai Madhavarao by EIC. Okay, not okay. Then British had to return Salsette to Marathas. They had to return Salsette to Marathas. Instead, they can take any other territories worth 3 lakh rupees from Marathas. So the British need to return Salsette, which was being taken by EIC from Raghunath Rao during Treaty of Surat. Okay, but in this Treaty of Purandar, it need to be given back to Marathas itself. Instead, what this EIC could do, EIC could take any other territories which is worth 3 lakh rupees. Okay, that is also being done. I'm not typing it. Then related to Raghunath Rao, if Raghunath Rao disbands his army, he would given a pension. So pension to Raghunath Rao if he disbands his army, but he is not disbanding his army. Okay. Okay. Now, Treaty of Purandar was concluded, but after that, the Marathas did not find it to be good that EIC is interfering in their internal affairs, because Raghunath Rao was their internal affairs. Then how come this EIC is interfering in this business? So what happened is that in order to counter this EIC's influence in the nearby future, the Marathas had entered into a friendly treaty with the French. Okay, treaty with French in 1777. Okay, yeah, if it's a friendly alliance. In this alliance, what happens is that the French part need to give 2,500 soldiers to the Maratha side, as well as they need to train 1 lakh Indian soldiers also. 1 lakh Indian soldiers also. Okay, 1 lakh Indian. So they need to give 2,500 European soldiers along with train 1 lakh Indian soldiers along the European style. Okay. Then another thing is that the French will get a port on west coast. Okay. Okay. Okay, that is also thing. Okay. Then another thing is, okay, so these were the main provisions of the treaty with France. It was a friendly treaty, but this treaty was condemned by British. This treaty was condemned by British, and they planned to attack the Marathas. So Marathas knew the attacking strategy of British. So what did they do is that Mahatma Shinde was assigned to war with British. So what Mahatma Shinde did was, Mahatma Shinde had sent some of his small number of men to Telagaon. Only few number of people of Mahatma Shinde was there. So seeing this, what happened is that British force had come and attacked this small number of people of Mahatma Shinde. but it was a trap by Mahatma Shinde to EIC. What did Mahatma Shinde do then? He had sent full army of Marathas to Telagaon and encircled the whole EIC army, and uh, he defeated the EIC people at Telagaon. And meanwhile, what happened is that he had sent some of this army to Kopoli. Kopoli. Mahatma Shinde has sent some of his army to Kopoli. Kopoli. Okay, Kopoli. Kopoli was a supply base of EIC, and it was being attacked. Okay, Kopoli. Okay, supply base. Okay, it was being attacked. Now, what happens is that victory stoop of Telagaon was running towards Vadagaon. Okay, because they were afraid of the they were about to defeat. So what happens is that they are running away from these Maratha forces. But what happens is that the forces of Mahatma Shinde had captured them, chased them and captured in Vadagaon also, and the British side had accepted a treaty. They were forced to accept a treaty or formulate a treaty which is known as Treaty of Vadagaon. Treaty of Vadagaon in 1779. 1779. Please note 1779. Treaty of Vadagaon. So let me say about Treaty of Vadagaon is that they had a peace with Raghunath Rao. This is the most important thing, peace with Raghunath Rao, because Raghunath Rao was given an assurance of pension. Okay, he need to go to Raghunath Rao. Okay, he was assured a pension, and he needed to go to Jhansi, and there was also an assurance given to him that his son Baji Rao, when he would be attaining a suitable age, will be given a part in administration. Okay, so with these terms, this Treaty of Vadagaon was concluded. But this Treaty of Vadagaon was not accepted by EIC. That means Warren Hastings. So Warren Hastings, what he did was, Warren Hastings has constituted three troops. One under Colonel Goddard, okay, another under Captain Popham, and another under General Kamak. So under Goddard, Ahmedabad and Bassein was captured. Ahmedabad and Bassein was captured. Okay. Then under Popham, Captain Popham, Gwalior was captured. Okay. Now, under General Kamak, this is very important because General Kamak had defeated Mahatma Shinde at Sipri in 1781. Okay. Remember the dates, sometimes it will be important. Ahmedabad, the date was 1779. Okay, 1779. Okay, 1779. And here Bassein was captured at 1780. Okay. Then Gwalior was captured also at 1780. Okay. So what happens is that you just need to remember this date, or you just don't remember the dates at first. You can just understand the scenario. Okay. The most important scenario was General Kamak defeated Mahatma Shinde at Sipri. So this is very important because Mahatma Shinde had a separate treaty with Varanasi. Separate treaty with Varanasi. So let me clear this. So according to this treaty, Mahatma Shinde could get his lost territories. But Mahatma Shinde needed to act like a mediator. Mediator between whom? Between Marathas and AIC. So this was the deal. So he agreed to it. So Mahatma Shinde was acting like a mediator in the Treaty of Salabai. Treaty of Salabai. Treaty of Salabai. Okay. Treaty of Salabai in 1782. 1782. Please note 1782. Parties were AIC on the one side, AIC on the one side, and Barbai Council. And Barbai Council. Barbai Council. Okay, Barbai Council. If you think that I am going in a slow manner, you just increase the speed of the video. Okay. Then, what were the terms of this Treaty of Salabai? One of the important terms of this Treaty of Salabai was Salsette will be retained by EIC. Salsette will not be given to Marathas; it will be retained by EIC itself. Now, Marathas did not enter into any alliance with any other European countries other than British. That is also an important thing. And third thing is that all territories which is lost by Marathas since Treaty of Purandar, that is since Treaty of Purandar since 1776, will be returned to Marathas itself. So these three were the important terms of this treaty. One is Salsette will be retained by EIC. Then Marathas need not to make any treaty with other European countries other than British. Then all territories lost by Marathas since Treaty of Purandar of 1776 shall be returned to Marathas itself. So this is the end of the first Anglo-Maratha War. So first Anglo-Maratha War had a timeline of first Anglo-Maratha War. Anglo-Maratha War had a timeline of 1775 to 1782. Okay, this is what So this is a conclusion about first Anglo-Maratha War. Okay, it just began with the attack of Hariband Fatke with EIC and Raghunath Rao, and it ended with the Treaty of Salabai in 1782. Now we are entering into second Anglo-Maratha War. Second Anglo-Maratha War. It was relatively a short war. That is, it lasted only 1802 years almost. Okay. Second Anglo-Maratha. Second Anglo-Maratha War. Okay, 1803 to 1805. Now let me say about background of this war. In 1795, we have discussed about first in the first Anglo-Maratha War about Savai Madhava Rao. In 1795, Savai Madhava Rao had committed suicide. Okay. Now, when a Peshwa commits suicide, we needed a heir, but there was not a natural heir to the throne. Then the story revolves around Raghunath Rao. This Raghunath Rao, okay, for that Madhava Rao Savai commits suicide in 1795. Now the story goes to Raghunath Rao. Raghunath Rao was having pension in the Jhansi Rani and he was leading a retired life. But we have seen in the Treaty of Vadagaon that his son Baji Rao too will be allowed in the administration, okay, under the Peshwas. So Baji Rao too, that is son Baji Rao too became Peshwa. Baji Rao too became Peshwa of the Marathas, okay, Baji Rao too. But Baji Rao too was a weak ruler. So unlike the other rulers like Madhava Rao, Balaji, Baji Rao, Vishwanath Balaji, etc., Baji Rao too was a weak ruler and he could not control the different principalities of Marathas. Like he could not control, he could not assert his great control over Holkar, Scindia, Bonsala, and Gaekwad. Okay, so this Peshwas was this Peshwa territory began to be same in power among its principalities. It did not have a kind of an upper hand over other principalities. Okay, and the situation became worse after the death of Nana Fadnavis. Nana Fadnavis had died in 1800. Okay, Nana Fadnavis had died in 1800. Died in 1800. Died, okay, in 1800. Okay, 1800. Okay, after Nana Fadnavis' death, the control of the upper hand of the Peshwa over the other principalities was gone. And during this time, there was a rivalry between two principalities, two main principalities, that is Holkar and Scindia. Holkar and Scindia. Okay. So Holkar, at that time, ruler was Jain Singh, Jaswant Rao. Okay, Jaswant Rao. Okay. Jaswant Rao, okay, Jaswant Rao, okay, and Scindian ruler was Daulat Rao, Daulat Rao, Daulat Rao, and Peshwa support was given to Daulat Rao. So Peshwa Baji Rao support was given to Daulat Rao. Okay. Now there is an incident. Okay. The Holkars, Jaswant Rao, had started independent campaigns, northern and southern campaigns by his own. Okay. Now for southern campaigns, he appointed his brother named Vidaji Rao. Vidaji Rao. And this Vidaji Rao was involved in plundering, and he plundered the Pune also, which was under the Peshwa. So the Peshwa, what he did was that the Peshwa Baji Rao had executed Vidaji Rao, okay, executed. So this amplified the Jaswant Singh, and Jaswant Singh had attacked Jaswant had attacked on the against Daulat Rao and Peshwa, combined army of Daulat Rao and Peshwa in 1802. So what happened is that the Peshwa was forced to flee to Basin. Now in Basin he had a treaty. Okay, treaty. British itself. Okay, why treaty? Because he wanted to come to the power with the help of British at Pune itself, and he did so. And what was the terms of the treaty was that give Surat to EIC, one thing, and forego Chaur on Nizam's dominion, and giving territories worth 26 lakh rupees to EIC. This was the two conditions in the Treaty of Vasin. That is, give Surat to EIC. Then is second is forego Chaur on Nizam's dominion. Third is giving territories worth 26 lakh rupees to EIC. So this was being agreed by Baji Rao II, and Baji Rao became the ruler. And this treaty had happened in 1782. Please note 1782. Basin Treaty, Treaty of Basin. Okay. Now, next is in 1782. Now, 17. Sorry, it is not in the 1782. 1803. 1803. Okay, 1802 the treaty was. Okay. 1802. Sorry for the mistake. Okay. Then in 1803 he captured Pune. That is, Baji Rao II captured Pune with the help of British. Okay, captured Pune. Meanwhile, I need to say that when Jaswant Rao captured the Pune, he installed a puppet Peshwa, and that puppet Peshwa name was Vinayak Rao. Vinayak Rao. And Vinayak Rao had a small relationship with Baji Rao, because Raghunath Rao, Baji Rao was the son of Raghunath Rao. Raghunath Rao had an adopted son named Amrit Rao. Now Amrit Rao had a son, and he was Vinayak Rao. So he was Vinayak Rao's uncle is Baji Rao too. Okay, they had a small relationship. Vinayak Rao had a small relationship with the Baji Rao. Okay, so Raghunath Rao son was Baji Rao too, and adopted son was Amrit Rao, and Amrit Rao's son is Vinayak Rao. Okay. Now Vinayak Rao was Peshwa, who was placed by Jaswant Rao, and Baji Rao too recaptured the Pune in 1803 with the help of British. But this was not being liked by other Maratha chiefs, because they were fed up due to the interference of EIC in their internal affairs. So what happens is that these Maratha chiefs turned against EIC. Okay, one by one. So first, Scindia had turned against EIC. Okay, Scindia versus EIC. But Scindia lost in that war, and it concluded with Treaty of sorry if I am pronouncing wrong, Surangian Jangaon, Treaty of Surangian Jangaon, okay, Treaty of Surangian Jangaon in 1803. Then Bonsle also had a war with EIC, but Bonsle also failed. Okay, Bonsle also failed. So it concluded with Treaty of Devagam in 1803 itself. Okay. 1803 itself. Okay. Now another one is Holkar. Holkar also waged war against EIC, they also failed. Holkar, Jaswant Rao also failed, and it concluded with Treaty of Purandar. So, okay, Treaty of Purandar now, Treaty of Rajpur Khat, Treaty of Rajpur Khat. So all these attacks or wars was a failure to Maratha chiefs, and the British or EIC had a decisive victory, okay, over Marathas. Now, why the British had a separate treaty with these Maratha chiefs? Because British tried to divide the Maratha chiefs or Maratha principalities. Okay, so this was the this is the end of second uh, Anglo-Maratha War. In second Anglo-Maratha War, we see different treaties, concluding treaties with different principalities. First, first treaty was with Baji Rao II, Treaty of Basing in 1802. Then with the Scindia, then with the Bonsle, and lastly with the Holkar. Okay, this is what about second Anglo-Maratha War. Okay, second Anglo-Maratha War. Now we are moving to third Anglo-Maratha War. Third Anglo-Maratha War is the shortest. Anglo-Maratha War. Third Anglo-Maratha War, 1817 to 1818. Now let me say you the background of it. Now the background was revolving around Pindari. Pindari was masonry under Marathas. So they were worked as a kind of a temporary warriors aiding the Marathas, and they looted the cities where Marathas had invaded. Since after the second Anglo-Maratha War, Bajirao too was a relatively weak ruler. Marathas did not have an expansionist policy, so Pindaris was not having any job from Marathas. So what happened is that they tried to loot territories of EIC and Nizam. So EIC was angrified by this, so they needed to suppress these Pindaris. So they attacked these Pindaris. Then when this Pindaris was attacked by EICs, now when this Pindari was attacked by EICs, it was under the sovereign, then Marathas felt that the EIC had challenged the sovereignty of Marathas. And we had seen in the second Anglo-Maratha War that EIC had a separate treaty with the separate Maratha principalities in order to divide them. But still, these principalities had a bond with the Maratha Peshwa Baji Rao II. So they decided to wage a war against the EIC, okay, to get rid of EIC. So what happens is that now I have discussed about different principalities that which under Marathas, okay. One is Gaekwad, another is Bonsle, Holkar, Scindia, and Peshwas were at the top. His capital was based on Pune, okay. Among the principalities, Maratha principality, Gaekwad was under complete control of British. Gaekwad was under complete control of British. Complete control of British. Complete control of British. So they were not in a position to attack the Britishers. Okay. Now there is an incident happened between Gaekwad and Peshwa. There was a financial dispute between Peshwa and Gaekwad. Okay, financial dispute. Okay, one of the ministers of One of the ministers of Kekbad, Gangadhar Shastri, Gangadhar Shastri, Gangadhar Shastri, Gangadhar Shastri, that is of minister of Kekbad, was killed by one of the minister of Peshwa, and that Peshwa was that minister name was Trimbakji Danglia. Trimbakji Danglia. Danglia. Okay, Danglia. Trimbakji Danglia. Okay, he killed this minister, that is Gangadhar. So why he killed was that this Gangadhar Shastri was coming in Pune to ask revenue from this Peshwa, but the Peshwa was reluctant to give revenue to the Kekwads. So what happened is that Trimbakji Danglia, one of the minister of Peshwa, had murdered Gangadhar Shastri. But this was not welcomed by EIC. They had asked Trimbakji Danglia, the murderer, to be handed to EIC, and Peshwa was forced to hand over Trimbakji Danglia to EIC. Okay, Peshwa was forced to hand over Trimbakji Danglia to EIC. Okay, now this was the situation. So these all the reasons, these were the reasons which prompted Bajirao to revolt against British, or to wage a war against British, a third war against the British. Okay, and the reason for Pandari is also Pandari attack also. Okay, now let me say about the instance. Okay, now sorry for the delay. Now what happens is that this tension was going on, financial dispute tension was going on between the Kekwas with them, EIC was there and Peshwa was there. Now British had a suspicion on the Peshwa. So they had entered into a treaty with the Peshwa, that is called Treaty of Poona. Treaty of Poona in 1870. Now according to Treaty of Poona, there should be no contact with Kekwa from the Peshwa side. Okay, one thing. And Peshwa need to see territory north of Narmada and south of Tungabhadra to EIC. That is, Peshwa need to give territory to EIC, which is north of Narmada and south of Tungabhadra. These were the terms which is being said in Treaty of Pune. The treaty is becoming harsher and harsher. You investigate. Treaty of Pune in 1870. Okay. Now what happened is that other than these Kekwas, all other principalities were coming against the British. Okay. So British was analyzing this. Okay. The kind of anti-incumbency factor which is faced by EIC. Okay. Now what happens is that the British tried to neutralize the Scindias, and a Treaty of Gwalior was being initiated by them in was set up by them in 1870. Treaty of Gwalior. Okay. Okay. In 1870. So this had neutralized Scindias. Okay, neutralized Scindias. Now Scindias were out of the picture. Now who are remaining? EIC, Peshwa, Holkars and Bhonsle. Okay. On the Maratha side, Peshwa was there, Bhonsle was there, and Holkars was there, and on the other side, EIC was there. Okay. Now, Peshwa had understood that if the war is being prolonged, more allies would be neutralized by the EIC. So he started the war very quickly. So here was the scenario. So let me say you the scenario of the war. Okay, in details. Okay. So here was the war. EIC is the enemy. Now here we would have Peshwa, Bajirao to sell. Then we have Here we have Holkar, sorry, Holkars, Holkars, then Barnsley, etc. Barnsley, etc. Okay. Now, Peshawar attacked Kirki. It's a military camp of EIC. So, Peshawar had attacked Kirki. Kirki. Okay, Kirki was being attacked by Peshawar. Okay, okay. Kirki was being attacked by Peshawar, but this attack was a failure. Peshawar had failed in this attack, and Holkars, what they did was they attacked EIC at. They had a war with EIC at Mahatipur, 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 and it concluded with Treaty of Mandsaur, Treaty of Mandsaur, Treaty of Mandsaur, Mandsaur. Then Barnsley, what happened? What occurred to them was they had a battle with EIC at Sita-Buldi. It was also a failure. So Peshawar, Holkars, and Barnsley had failed decisively against the EIC. And Peshawar, what he did that after this war at Kirki, he had gone to south. Then meanwhile, while he is traveling to south, he had to encounter an EIC army, and a battle of Karakoram was being held. Battle of Karakoram. Koregaon was being held, and the Battle of Koregaon also Peshawar met with failure. Peshawar Bajirao met with failure. So what Peshawar did was he was escaping from EIC for a long time, but he was surrendered at last. Bajirao too surrendered at last in June 1880. It's an important one. June 1880. Now, when this Peshwa Bajirao surrendered. Okay. When this Peshwa Bajirao was surrendered, Peshwaship was abolished. And Bajirao too was sent to Bithur. And EIC had made Pratap Singh, who had a lineage or lineage with Shivaji as the ruler of Satara. Okay, EIC had made Pratap Singh ruler of Satara. So this was the incident happening, and through the incident that abolishing the Peshwaship and sending Bajirao to Bithur had what EIC had tried to do with this thing is that they tried to give a message to the other Indian rulers, that the rulers which had entered into subsidiary alliance with the British. Subsidiary alliance, I would make another video with you. Subsidiary alliance, in a nutshell, we can say that it's an alliance which is entering into the British. After this alliance, that country should not form an alliance with other foreign countries. Okay, so we will discuss it in detail in other videos. So through this act of banishment of Bajirao to Bithur, the EIC was trying to give a clear message that if any other rulers defied subsidiary alliance or trying to overcome the hegemony of British, they would face the same fate as that of Bajirao. So it was a kind of an warning which is being given to the Indian rulers. Okay, in 1818, Pindaris were also attacked. Pindaris. Now Pindaris were nations, okay, under Marathas, and Pindaris consisted of many caste, class, etc. They were Muslim, they were Hindus, etc. The Pindaris leaders like Amir Khan and Karim Khan was arrested. Amir and Karim Khan was arrested. Was arrested. And Chittur Khan, one of the leader, fled to forest. Chittur Khan fled to forest. In 1718, British EIC had attacked Pindaris. Okay. With this, I am ending all the Anglo-Maratha wars. I hope you would have enjoyed this section. If any sort of improvement is needed in this lecture, please comment below. Thank you once again.